Thank you, Senator Blumenthal. And I really want to say publicly how much I appreciate Senator Blumenthal's long-term leadership in this area and how, since Donald Trump has become president again, he has really stepped up on these First Amendment issues and how important it is. So thank you, and thank you for having us here today. I also want to say to all of you, thank you for being here. You're going to see a lot of us. It's going to look like tag team. And because there are a lot of different senators who come in at different times, and we're trying to get as many people in. So thank you for being here and giving us a chance to hear from you and to ask you some questions. So I want to think back to a year ago right now. What was Donald Trump saying every single day? He said he would lower costs for American families on day one. After he got elected, the very first interview he gave, the reporter asked, "Why did you get elected? Why were you successful?" And he said, "Because I promised to lower costs on day one." And now here we are, about 260 days into the Trump presidency, and the cost of groceries is up, the cost of housing is up, the cost of school shoes is up. Costs are up for families. Cost of health care is up, and the Republicans are driving it even higher. Now, that's bad news for the American people, but it's also really bad news for Donald Trump. So what is Donald Trump doing about it? Where is he putting his energy right now? And the answer is he is leading a corrupt and dangerous attack on freedom of speech and the free press in the hopes that no one will be able to talk about what's going on. How much information can he suppress? How much can he turn people in a different direction on what they talk about? So since the first day of his administration, Trump has abused the power of the Oval Office. He's used it to line his own pockets. He's used it to attack his enemies. He's used it to hand out favors to his billionaire buddies and his campaign donors. And now Trump seems to think that he can trample on the First Amendment and use the power of government to shape what Americans hear. First with CBS and Stephen Colbert, and now with ABC and Jimmy Kimmel. And as the chairman of this hearing, Senator Blumenthal noted, and too many other places to note. So a few weeks ago, Trump's Federal Communications Commission, Brendan Carr, was unhappy with some of Jimmy Kimmel's remarks, and he said that companies airing Kimmel's show, quote, "can find ways to take action on Mr. Kimmel, or there is going to be additional work for the FCC ahead." And then, in comments that we're all seeing that look like they're straight out of Goodfellas, he adds, "We can do this the easy way or the hard way." Look, he did not have to wait long. Within hours, Disney, along with owners of dozens of ABC affiliates, Nexstar and Sinclair, announced they would suspend Kimmel's show, drawing praise from both Donald Trump and Chair Carr. Now, it's thanks to every single American who spoke out and who pushed back that Disney reversed its decision, and Kimmel's show was back on the air Monday, drawing the show's largest audience in a decade. Sinclair and Nexstar relented a few days later and brought Kimmel back too, after the backlash had happened from viewers, from advertisers, and from community leaders. But why did this happen in the first place? And one reason might be that Disney and Nexstar and Sinclair each need something big from Donald Trump. Nexstar, the nation's largest owner of TV stations, needs the Trump administration to approve its proposed mega merger with its competitor Tegna. Now, Sinclair, the nation's second largest broadcaster, is also waiting on Trump to approve a broadcast deal. And Disney needs the Trump administration's go-ahead to merge with Fubo. So there was there a quid pro quo deal here? Nexstar and Sinclair tried to curry favor with Donald Trump by shutting down a comedian that Trump doesn't like in the hopes that they would get their big deals approved. Disney, Sinclair, and Nexstar have reversed course, at least for now. This isn't Trump's first attack on Americans' freedom of speech. You know, just a couple of months ago, Paramount was looking for the Trump administration's approval for a huge merger deal with Skydance. And what do you know? Suddenly, Paramount settles a bogus legal case with President Trump by funneling $16 million right into Trump's presidential library. According to Trump, Skydance additionally promised to air up to $16 million worth of Trump-friendly ads on CBS. 2 weeks later, CBS, which is owned by Paramount, cancels Stephen Colbert's show, and 1 week after that, after the cancellation, merger approved. Trump is not finished shaking down America's media companies. He's warned that other late-night comedians are next, and when Disney and ABC put Kimmel back on the air, Trump posted, quote, "I think we're going to test ABC out on this. Let's see how we do. Last time I went after them, they gave me $16 million. This one sounds even more lucrative." Let's be clear. President Trump and Chairman Carr are wrong to threaten to censor journalists and comedians. They are wrong to trample on the First Amendment. They are wrong to imply that the government will use government power to make life miserable for those broadcasters or journalists or comedians who say things that they don't like. But media giants also bear some responsibility here. If they are bending the knee so they can get handouts from the government, they need to have a serious conversation with their lawyers. Any giant corporation planning to do favors for Trump in exchange for gifts from his administration should take a hard look at the federal bribery statutes, which bar anyone from, and I quote, "corruptly giving anything of value to any public official to influence any public act." If big media giants get even bigger by censoring content that Donald Trump doesn't like, the American people lose. They can't watch their favorite comedian on their local TV station because Donald Trump said so. They're held captive by big corporate media monopolies that decide what they are and are not allowed to see. And then those monopolies that have wiped out competition can charge whatever they want to charge. Right now, Americans are paying attention. 3 giant companies backed down on censoring Kimmel, in no small part because the American people stood up and said, no way. So what does that show the rest of us? It shows us there is power in raising our voices. And that is why Donald Trump and his lackeys are attacking the First Amendment. And it is why we have to fight back. Mr. Chairman, back to you.